Okay, so here is my update for this week. I just finished up week 10 of the Sculpt Begin, Sculpt and Shred. If you've been following me, you know it's a long program. It's like 18 months, so I am very early on still. But this finishing week 10 is the end of phase 1. And so I will start on phase 2 next week. To be honest, I probably should have looked at this before. I don't know what the differences are in phase 1 or phase 2. I did take a look the other day at the workouts and they seem to be pretty much the same. So I don't know how much is gonna change. And I don't know if it's just, I don't know. I'll have to watch the videos and see. So how it is they've got like a website and you can go into each phase, and then there's kind of like videos that instruct you kind of on different things to focus on. And the first one was more like the first phase, it was more about like setting your goals, kind of like taking your initial measurements, knowing what your baseline is, getting a feel for meal tracking, like calorie tracking, and macros. It was just a lot of like kind of introductory information type stuff, and then to kind of get you introduced into doing the workouts and all that. So I probably should have looked at it, but we'll see what's in phase 2, so I can update on that next week. I'll do that later this afternoon, go through all that stuff. But the workouts didn't look that much different, so I don't know really what's gonna change too much. But yeah, so this past week, I feel like it was actually pretty good. In terms of my appetite, I found this last week really, really easy to like stay within my calorie goals. I think I was under 1,800 calories for every day except Sunday, which is my cheat day. And then I went a little bit over, I think I was closer to 1,900 calories yesterday. But you know, to me, as long as I'm staying under 2,000, I feel pretty good. But ideally I would want to stay like kind of around 1,800, and based on that, since I did stay like at or a little bit below 1,800 every day, my weight did start to kind of go down a little bit more consistently. So yeah, like I've said before, like I've been tracking my weight and it just seems it was just going up and down around 140. And this week, the average weight was 139.7. So it was about a pound less than last week. And for most of the days, I was below 140. Like I was in the 139 range. Again, I'm not really basing this on weight. Like it's just, I want to base it on like how I feel and the changes that I see. But you know, weight is a metric. In terms of the diet, again, I've been doing what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. I haven't really been focused on the macros as much as the calories. It's basically just been the calories. I did, for most of the days, I like consciously did do a protein shake with 2 scoops of protein. So I would have around 40 to 50 grams of protein just in a protein shake in the morning, just to make sure I was getting a little bit extra protein. And yeah, I think if I wouldn't have done that, I would have just hardly had any protein in my diet last week. So I can show you on the app the macro breakdown here in a second. But overall, I feel good if I'm going just based on how my body feels. I do feel leaner this week, and I feel more toned. I hit my leg workout pretty hard, the one on Friday, and my hamstrings are still a little bit sore from that, but nothing like the beginning. Like if you remember from like week 1, I was pretty sore, especially after the leg days. But it's getting to where it's kind of the right amount of soreness. Earlier in the week, I was feeling some soreness in kind of my shoulders, my back, my lats, like just a little bit, like. And I know soreness doesn't necessarily mean like you worked hard, but I do kind of like to feel that little bit of soreness, to feel like, you know, I've done something, I guess. I don't know, but I feel like this was a good week overall, especially one of the days I was like really high energy. My brain has felt pretty good this week, especially like the last couple days. I really feel like my brain is clicking. But I've also been really busy with school. So like I said, maybe keeping on with the calories was easier this week because I was so busy with school and work stuff that I'm just kind of like, I think I'm just a boredom eater. And so since I've been so busy, I just don't think about eating. And I think I've mentioned this before, like I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, and that seems to be part of it too. Like if your brain is focused on other stuff, like it's common for people with ADHD to kind of just forget to eat. And I think that's when I was younger, how part of the reason I stayed so thin was because I was so busy, especially when I was in undergrad, that like I was like work, school, work, and you know, I just was so busy that I didn't think about eating. And so I just don't think I was eating that much. And so that, I mean, based on this week, that seems to be the case too. I just didn't really think about it. And so it was pretty easy to stay within my calories. What else? I guess that's the main thing as far as this stuff goes. One thing I am going to try, I may try it. So I've been looking into some information about ChatGPT, and it seems pretty interesting. I haven't like used it yet, but I was looking into watching people set up like meal plans and things like that using ChatGPT. So I may play around with that and see how useful that may be in terms of like, you know, giving it, you know, I want a meal plan that, you know, has this macros or these types of foods in it, and see if it can kind of, how useful that may be. And if I find that useful, I may talk about it like in future weeks. But yeah, I don't know. So far, so good. I feel pretty good. Let me run through my apps because there's something kind of interesting I found in my Fitbit app. So I will hop onto that real quick. Okay, so here we are in the Fitbit app, and so like I said, my weight has pretty much flatlined at around 140, and you can see there at the end, it's kind of all last week stayed below 140 most of the week. But the one thing I wanted to look at is the percent body fat. I haven't really been paying attention to it at all because I don't know, from things I'd heard in the past, like I didn't feel like these scales, just these home scales, were very accurate at calculating like the body fat. And I do have to get on the scale barefoot for it to do any of that. Let's see, if you look at this based on my scale, which like I said, I don't feel like is very accurate, it did show that my lean mass over the past couple days went up. And like I said, I felt like I'm getting leaner, so I don't know. And like, you know, I had done the DEXA scan, I guess it was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, I feel leaner, but then the DEXA scan did not show, you know, really any change. And so I don't know. I'll keep an eye on this and just see if it changes. And then if I get, you know, when I get another DEXA scan in the future, I may compare it to what my scale is showing me. But yeah, like, so my body fat percent has been pretty stable throughout this whole time. But then like over the last couple days, it just kind of dropped significantly, which I think is kind of weird. And then, yeah, my BMI is, I hadn't really looked at all this before because I'm like, yeah, I don't really know how well the scale does, but it'll be interesting. My BMI has held pretty constant at, I think it's at 24. Yeah, which is kind of at the high end of the ideal range, which is, again, why I think most people don't really take stock of BMI, because I think you can look so many different ways and feel so many different ways depending on your muscle mass. So I'm like right on the brink of being, I think after ideal, it would fall in the overweight category. And I don't like feel like I look super overweight. So I can see why some people just kind of throw BMI out the window. But yeah, I don't know. That's where I fall in that. So I'll just keep an eye on the body weight percentage this next week and just see how my scale changes. And then, like I said, I'll get a DEXA scan in the future and see if this tracks with that. So yeah, that's what I got on the Fitbit. On my calories, yeah, so Sunday was the over 2,000 kind of cheat day, and then I stayed right below 1,800 for most of the days. until yesterday, but my average was 1818, so right at about 1800. So it does seem like 1800, like I calculated at the beginning, is, well, I guess 1800 would be like my maintenance, and it looks like if I get below that, then that's where my weight kind of starts to fall. But yeah, I didn't really pay attention to the macros, and my protein was still low. It's the same percentage, 18%, as last week, but I had lower calories overall than last week, so I actually had lower grams. So in terms of protein, I averaged about 84 grams a day. Last week it was 93 grams a day. I would like to get, like they say, it's good to hit at least like 1 gram per pound of body weight. So that would be about 140. Nowhere near that. I'm going to keep like doing the at least one protein shake a day just to kind of try to keep that up. Still have really high carbs. So I don't know. Like I said, for at least the next probably a month or two while I'm getting caught up with school and work stuff, calories is really the only thing I'm going to focus on. I don't want to have too many things jumbling up my mind. So I'm just going to be focusing on calories for now. But yep, that's how my calories and macros worked out for this week. And I will hop over and see if my measurements have changed. Okay, so just to start out, here's what I wear to the gym every day. I don't know if I've shown my gym outfit. It's just some bombshell leggings and just a white t-shirt, and I wear it every single day, so people may think, you know, what's wrong with you? You wear the same thing every day, but I like it. I don't have to like think about what I'm gonna put on in the morning or if I'm gonna be comfortable in it. I know that I'm comfortable in this, so I just have I have 8 pairs of bombshell leggings, and then I just have a whole bunch of these just white t-shirts that I got. I think I've got some that are Hanes, some that are Fruit of the Loom, whatever, and I just wear them every day, and it's really comfortable. But yeah, I mean, I think my body looks about the same as it did last week in these. And then let's see about my top measurements. So last week my band was 31. This week, I don't expect this to change that much. It's been about the same every week. Oh, so it looks like it went down a little bit. So it's about 30 and a half, which was what it was the week before last. It keeps kind of going up and down. And then my chest, I think it went up last week by about a ½ inch. Like I said, my chest is the place that like gains and loses the most. So let's see. It looks like it's 34 1/4. Last week it was 34 3/4, so it went back down. So it looks like I'm going back down to where I was the week before last in terms of that. Because yeah, it looked like almost everything except my hips went up last week. Let me get my waist and my hips. Because I don't feel like clipping these clips together, so I'm just gonna do this all in one take. So my waist is a little bit below 31. It's between 31 3/4 and 31. So I'll just put 31. Last week it was 31 1/4. And my hips. And I've just been, I know some people say like get at your widest part and measure it from there. I've just been finding the top of where my hip bone is and just going there because that's easier for me. Looks like 39 1/4. So wait, okay, so my hips went up. Yeah, 39 1/4. So last week it was 38 3/4. That is weird. And my thigh. I have started doing that machine at the gym though, where you like spread your legs apart. So I don't know, maybe that's putting on some. Oh, my thighs are bigger. Whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe. I mean, I haven't hit legs. So I've been going up just 6 inches to get the same spot from like the little line above my kneecap. Going around. Okay, no. Oh, my thighs have actually, looks like 20 3/4. I don't know that it's been below 21 in a while. Okay, so I guess my feelings were right, at least in terms of my measurements. They did go down this week along with my weight. So I don't know, I'll just keep an eye on it. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I feel pretty happy with what I did this last week. You know, at some point I will need to get back on my diet and my meal planning and my meal tracking. I'll look through that phase 2 stuff and just see what needs to change and just give an update next week.